So we're located in the present-day port of Rijeka. The port of Rijeka really grew under Hungarian rule, which was from 1867 till the end of the First World War, when the Habsburg Empire was dismantled. And then the port really stagnated once it came under the control of Italy. And then once again, when Rijeka became part of Yugoslavia, it went through a period of phenomenal growth. This was tied to Yugoslavia's ambitions to build up its merchant marine and become a key player in merchant marine, and also to develop itself as a global transportation leader, a regional and global transportation leader. And so Rijeka became the flagship port for Yugoslavia, at least until the late 1960s, when the port of Koper in nearby Slovenia began to rival it. So in many ways, the fortunes of the city mirrored its rise as Yugoslavia's main port. Jugolinija, the Yugoslav shipping line, was one of the key players in the growth of the port's activities. It was founded in 1947 and quickly rose to be Yugoslavia's main shipping line. It had, at its peak, maybe 55, 56 ships under its control, and this is by the 1970s, and it employed close to 5,000 people, making it the second largest employer in the city. And it really, competed ferociously for business and ran several lines, not just regionally but globally. So it had lines to North America, to the Gulf of Mexico. It had lines to South America. It had lines to the what it called the Far East, the Near East, which included Egypt and Israel, Cyprus, and Turkey. It had also lines to Asia, to China, Japan, to India, and to as well as other lines that I forget now. So one of the things that's really interesting about Jugolinija is how it managed to be so competitive and efficient in spite of operating at the interface of two systems which many people would say were incompatible. And this was, of course, capitalism and state socialism, albeit a form of state socialism that had elements of the market economy. And Jugolinija had many, Jugolinja's activities sustained many other businesses in Rijeka, such as, for example, the Treći Maj shipyard, which built many of its ships, or the Viktor Lenac shipyard, which repaired many of those ships. And everyone in the city has some kind of relative or connection to the ship line in its family history. When Yugoslavia ceased to exist, Jugolinija became Croatia Lines. And unfortunately, after a few years, it went into bankruptcy. And while there's a lot of discussion as to the reasons for this, what we can say is that the shipping industry and the global transportation of goods had changed enormously since Jugolinja's heyday in the 1960s.